guess make a call to order first and a pledge of allegiance. If everyone will stand.
I'll do roll call. It's easier from here. Michael Elliott. Chris Keller. Nancy Ross.
Present.
Matt Sutton. And Jay Russell let me know he wouldn't be here, and I'm not sure about Zach, but we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you. I guess we open it to public forum first. Anything that's not on the agenda, if anybody in the public wishes to speak? No, so close the public forum then. Approval of minutes of the meeting from October 15th. Anybody have any comments to the minutes that were sent out?
No, just one little thing I noticed on the first paragraph or so, there was John. There was, at the first paragraph, it just said John's Clover instead of John's Cove. Just time.
Thank you. I caught it and I fixed it already.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. All right, let's open up new business. We will start with the appearance review for proposed Harvest District mixed-use building. All right, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Chair. Thank you. Again, I'm Brad Cornelius with Wade Trim, serving as your contracted town planner this evening. So as you said, Mr. Chair, the first item we have is the Harvest District mixed-use building, and this is for appearance review. So this project, as I think half of you were on the board at the time, has already come through the development process for the approval of their zoning for their planned development. This property is located at 1551 West Colonial Drive. The applicant is Gemini Land Development. The owner is New Horizons Investments. Mr. Scalia is here this evening. He is the owner of the property and of this project. This project's on about 5 acres, and it's within your urban corridor design district. And the intent is, and why this is before you tonight, is to look at his actual building plans now for the appearance review of his proposed 3-story mixed-use building. That's why this is before you this evening. Just to remind everybody where this is, the properties there outlined in red. Across the street is the Schmid Building, is the best way for me to explain where that is, which is actually our next applicant that'll be here shortly. That's the location. So just as a reminder, this project, as I said, has already been through the plan development process with the town and was approved by the town commission on March 26, 2024 by ordinance 2024-06. So this has gone through the hearings with you all as a planning and zoning board, as well as with the town commission. The project is comprised of a maximum of 72 multifamily dwelling units, 48,000 square feet of commercial retail with within 2 3-story buildings. So that is what has already been approved by the town commission. And what they also submitted, what Mr. Scalia submitted with his PD that you all did see back then, he had some concept building designs submitted with that as well. So that's what, so you have seen these already once before with that. Next, this is again, just to remind you, this is the site plan that was approved with the 2 buildings that would be fronting on State Road 50. I will let you all know we're in final engineering review right now on these plans. So they're very close to getting approved for final engineering. And these are the site plan that is moving forward. That was approved as part of your PD. So now we get to the buildings. So again, these are the buildings and they did submit in your package, you have the full building plans. Those were submitted to you all. For this, what we have in the presentation are the renderings. So it's the 3 stories. It's 43 feet in height, 47 to the top of the building, which is within your allowance height. It'll have commercial retail on the first floor and the residential will be on the second and third. So you can see, again, you can see the images and the renderings of it. Again, this is compliant and consistent with what was shown under the PD. It's just more designed out and fleshed out. You can see again, the renderings of these proposed buildings, what they would potentially look like if they're constructed. Here on State Road 50 and with the area. So in terms of the review, we as staff have looked at this. We looked at its compliance with, actually, let me get stuff here. The next step for this process would be this appearance review would go to the town commission on December 10th. While I'm at that point too, I want you all to know the PD is also still in no, this one's already approved. This one's already approved. So it'll go to them. This has already gone to your appearance review board. They reviewed these plans, same plans you have tonight at their meeting, and they've unanimously recommended approval of these plans as presented to you this evening. For that, our recommendation as your staff, we do recommend approval of them as well. We do believe they are substantially compliant with your design standards, and they're also compliant with the PD that was previously approved that showed concepts of this building. So that is my final presentation that I have for you all this evening. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to try to answer them. And again, Mr. Scalia is here and he can answer questions as well.
All right, thank you. Do we open up the public first or? I'm sorry? Public first or
You can go to the board
Board.
first and then the public.
any questions from other members on the board? Sir.
So I have one question that's only tangentially related to the appearance. I noticed in the engineering plans that you submitted that you've got 1 ADA unit, or actually 2, 1 on each floor, I believe, in each of the buildings, and you placed them as far as possible away from the elevator, which seems like a mistake to me. Having a disabled family member in my family, it would be a hardship for somebody disabled to drag his groceries all the way down the hallway. If there's any possible way to reconfigure that, I think it would be a benefit to any tenants that you might have there. So that's my comment.
Yes, sir. All right, you have to come up here.
What about that? I think that's not the case. There's a minimal requirements of 88 square footage that has to be met. But I will look into it, in a moment. I thought it was at least 4 units. I will look into it. I'm not sure where you saw that.
Yeah, no, there are 4 units. There's 2 in building 1 and 2 in building 2, 1 on each floor. I was just noticing that they're way at the end of the building. And I'm not sure what the reasoning was for putting them way at the opposite end from the elevator. Your disabled person's probably not going to go up the outside stairwell. They're probably not going to go up the inside stairwell. They're going to use that
Well,
elevator.
I could tell you one thing. I had nothing to do with it.
It's okay.
It was designed, by the architect, but I will look into it, that's what.
Observation, it obviously meets whatever it's supposed to meet. That's okay, but you could make life better for those 4 tenants.
That's a good point.
By rearranging that perhaps, if it's possible.
I will look into it. That's a good point. I agree totally.
And thank you for that question. It was very good. And just so you know, from the town's perspective, when we review it and your building department reviews it, they ensure that it is fully compliant with the federal and state ADA requirements for the building and the locations for that. So it will be ADA compliant.
Any other questions before we open it? Any questions from the public? Speak on this matter? We'll close public comment and ask for someone to make a motion.
If the applicant would like to come and say anything.
Would the applicant like to say anything else?
You have
before-
anything else to say, or are you?
You're good? All right, thank you. We have a motion?
Okay, I make a motion that the Harvest District mixed-use building appearance review as shown in the approved concept plan be approved.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Nay? No one? All right,
Thank you.
so we'll move on to the next appearance review for proposed Oakland Exchange Office Complex.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as you said, this is your next case. It's the Oakland Commercial Center, Oakland Exchange Office Complex. And again, this is for appearance review. So as Lise brings this up, this is a project here behind Racetrack. It's at the southwest corner of Remington and Southern Railway behind the racetrack. JW2 Development is the applicant. The owner is Racetrack, and the applicant is here. That's Mr. King and Mr. White are here. Those are the applicants. They are here with us this evening. The property is a little bit over 4 acres. And as you all recall, this was a planned development zoning that's still in process. This came to you back in September, I believe, at your meeting to amend the Oakland Center PD to allow this Oakland Exchange project to come in. And the change primarily was to go from 30,000 square feet to 37,000 square feet, as well as a rearrangement of the buildings and some of the design. So that's why this is before you this evening now. The PD is still in process. It went through the first hearing with the town commission last week, and it's scheduled to go back to them on December 10th for their second and final hearing. What's before you this evening now is the related process is for the appearance review of the actual office building. So we're running these concurrent, basically. And these would then also be on the next agenda on the 10th for the town commission. So just so everybody knows where this is, again, in the blue area that's highlighted is the Oakland Commercial Center overall project, and the red highlighted area is where we're speaking about for the Oakland Exchange property. Next, please. Again, a little bit of reminders here. This was what's already been approved. This was the old plan development that was approved in 2018 and amended in 2019 for this property. Overall property, the property that we're speaking about this evening and what the plan development that's currently in process is the area that you see there in pink called neighborhood office. That has already been approved by the town, and that's what they're amending. Next, please. This is the concept plan that was approved by the town back in 2018 and 2019. And again, this is what's going through the amendment process now. Instead of having those 4 buildings around the perimeter under the PD, if you will recall, there's 12 individual smaller 1-story buildings. Also, to give you some reference, what this is, these are images that were in the approved PD already for what the buildings might look like as part of this development. So just give you a sense of what was already approved to go in this area. So again, just to go over the PD amendments, just so everybody is aware again, it's going from 30,000 to 37,184 square feet. Revised plan for the 2 lots, lots 5 and 6. Eliminate the landscape buffer, be a 5-foot sidewalk, and then increase the monument sign. This was at the Planning and Zoning Board in October. You all did recommend approval of this with conditions of increasing the landscaping around the dumpster enclosures. And you also recommended to deny the increase to the monument sign and also to deny the sidewalk width from 6 to 5 feet. And as I said, this has gone to the town commission for their first reading on November 12th, so last week. They had a very similar discussion that you did. So there'll be more discussion when this comes back on December 10th with the town commission on this project. So that's for the PD. And again, just to remind everyone, this is the site plan that's under consideration for the PD. So this shows the location of the buildings that you'd be looking at the design for this evening. Next, please. So the proposed buildings, again, as I said, these are 12, there's 12 buildings. These are going to be now the building designs for the office park. If these are approved with your recommendation and then approval by the town commission, they will then be integrated as part of the new development agreement that's under consideration right now. So we'll reference these as part of the development agreement, that these are the approved plans for building design for this project. So the next slides, they have several different building types and they're in your packet and we kind of go through them. What you can see, they're not too different in our opinion from what was already approved for these buildings to look like. And actually, I think they look somewhat better. But these are the building types that they're looking to have. And what you'll see on those plans, they actually label the building numbers to correspond to the buildings on their site plan. But they're all one story. They have complete, windows all around the building. They're not really, they're an office building. But they do meet your minimum like window areas and those kinds of requirements for it. So this did go through your appearance review at their meeting last week. And I already did this one, so we can skip this one. This did go to appearance review last week. The appearance review board did recommend approval of these building designs. They were supportive of it unanimously. And again, as your staff, we do recommend approval of these. They also, with their PD, had these plans, these building plans, not to the detail you have them tonight, but as part of their PD, and it is consistent with that. Next, please. And I think that's it for this one. So I'd be happy to answer any question. Again, the applicant is here this evening if you have any questions for them.
We ask the applicant first, right? No, board first. Board first. Board, have any questions? Comments? Sir?
Thanks. I'm the new person here, so I'm a little unsure of what my role here, but I'm looking at the originals and the original elevations of the building showed a lot more brick and color. And I'm wondering if the elevations, the new proposed elevations, I like a lot of the one story. I think it's a good use of the space, my personal opinion. But is this the real color scheme? It's gonna be white, gray, gray kind of stone on it. Seems kind of stark and harsh, hospital kind of like. So I don't know that we're approving a color scheme here, are we?
Part of this would be because you're actually approving the design for the building. So if you would like a different color palette, that would be part of your recommendation this evening.
Okay, so yeah, so that would be my recommendation for my comment that that maybe a little bit softer color scheme might be more appealing. Thank you.
Does the applicant want to comment on that? We need you to, you weren't here when we were explaining it earlier, but you need to actually go up now.
John Schmid, 1007 Celadon Street, Oakland. So yeah, I understand what you're asking for. That's kind of the color palette that is kind of preferred in the market right now. So that's kind of the reason we're at that color palette. So I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I guess we're open to suggestions. We're pleased with it. This town staff seem to be pleased with it. So we're open ears.
To add to that, yeah, some of the elevations are really lovely. And I think because it is a neighborhood and it's so close to those homes over there, I would just, I know ARB's already reviewed it, but maybe something that's a little, maybe more stone or maybe a little more residential feeling, just because again, it is the single story. I don't know if that's something that we could have the ARB look at again or how that works.
I mean, our take on it was we try to make it more residential than the 2 stories that were there before. We felt like we accomplished that. We kind of pushed it off the back line to be away from the residential. And overall, it's not residential. It's still a commercial project. So we kind of try to meet halfway in between of blending from the commercial to the residential.
I mean, if it's to go back to this style, I think this is like 10 years ago, you know, this is old. I, you know,
Going back to the original style was not what I was suggesting. I was just suggesting that I mean, it's hard to tell an accurate color from these printouts anyway.
Sure.
But the way it's presented here, it looks really kind of stark and sterile.
It's
And-
a, you know, it's a residential look, but it has a little more modern colors, which are in style right now, I guess, more so than, you know, the red brick and what have you. It is a darker gray brick. It's got a gray roof on it. It's got off-white colors and medium gray colors on it. So
Yeah.
That is accurate. Storefront's black.
what is the roof? What is it?
Painting cement.
It is black,
It's like a dark gray roof.
dark
grayish,
gray? Okay.
yes.
I didn't, because it almost looks like solar panels on here that, but it's not. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little biased because my house is black and white. We did the modern farmhouse, so I'm kind of, I think this is more of a modern look of the way design is going nowadays. In 5 years, is it going to be the style? Probably not, because everything changes every 5 years, but I'm a little biased on it, so this didn't bother me. I just was questioning whether these were going to be solar panels or not.
No, it's not.
And I just had a quick question for the commercial buildings that are right next door to already the chiropractor and the other ones. How does it kind of line up with that color scheme? Is this going to clash with that? Because I can't for the life of me remember what those colors are.
Yeah, we built that actually about 15 years ago. I think it's a lighter beige.
Right. So, okay. Yeah, I was just curious if it was going to, you know, kind of
Similar to
compromise
this.
it or anything like this, but I kind of like the white and the black as well. I think it brings it a little bit more modern too.
Well, I just, I mean,
Design is a very, right? So
well,
as somebody that lives in the design and construction world, I hear the opinions all the time. I get it.
in the air.
Yeah. Any other comments from the board before we open it up to public? Anybody in the public like to speak on this matter? No, so we'll close. So then I guess it comes to someone, oh,
I would ask the applicant too, if
the
they have
applicant
anything
again.
additional.
She'd like to present?
is there anything else you'd like to say? Yeah, no, you're good. All right, thank you. All right, make a motion, someone? Do I hear?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? I'm against. Noes? So that will close new business, and that's it, right?
Thank you.
Adjourn? All right. Motion to adjourn or no? No, just adjourn. Oh, adjourned at